Hello Year 1 and welcome to Thursday's literacy lesson. I'm just going to share my screen with you so that I can show you what we'll be doing today. So this week we have been looking at suffixes. We looked at and s at the beginning of the week, and then we went on to looking at instructions through a spell. And we have been looking at using est, the suffix est, in our sentences and in our words. Now we're going to carry on with this today, and we're going to actually look at how brilliant writers plan a set of instructions. So today, by the end of the lesson, you will have written your very own plan for a magical potion for a growing spell. So let's get started. We're going to start with our common exception words, and if you remember yesterday I said for you to write them down. Today we're going to play a game with them. After that, I'm going to show you how to create a plan for writing instructions. I'll go through this step by step so that you can push pause and play every time, so you can do it at your own pace, and by the end of the lesson everyone will be successful. Then as we go through that, you will have planned your own set of instructions for a growing potion. And finally, we're just going to look at why we need instructions. What sort of things do we use instructions for? Brilliant. So here are our common exception words that we have been looking at this week. Now, if you didn't write them down yesterday, don't worry, just pause the screen and get some pieces of paper, write them down and chop them up. If you've already done that, brilliant, well done. What I would like you to do now is ask somebody else in your house to just hide them around the room where you are. Don't hide them too hard. We need to be able to see them so that we can run and jump onto wherever they are or point to where they are. Okay, so if you want to pause the screen, ask somebody to go and hide them around the room and then come back to me. Brilliant. Hopefully now you have all your words hidden somewhere around the room that you're in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a word, and I want you to run to where that word is, pick it up and collect it. So here we go. Are you ready? The first word is his. His. Off you go. See if you can find the word. Fantastic. The next word I'm going to go with is were. Were. Off you go. Brilliant. The next word we're going to go for is some. See if you can find the word some hidden around your room somewhere. Super. The next one I'm going to go for is my. My. Go and have a good look, see if you can find it. Super. The next word is has. Has. Go off you go and see if you can find that word. Brilliant. And the next word is by. By. Brilliant. Hopefully you've managed to find that one. The next one we're going to do is one. One. Off you go, see if you can find it. Fantastic. The next word we're going to go for is come. Come. See if you can find the word come. Off you go. Super. And your last word to find is your. Off you go. See if you can find your. Fantastic. Well done, everybody. Now keep hold of these because we'll use them again tomorrow to play a different game. Okay, brilliant. Now, today you're going to need a pencil, your whiteboard and a notebook, and of course, your brilliant brain. This week we have been looking at instructions. We looked at the importance of having those ingredients And do you remember we said that we have the title of our instructions, we have the heading of ingredients, and we use bullet points to list all the ingredients we need. We also need to talk about the measures, the amounts that we use of each item that we need to put into our potion. And I showed you that I had included a picture of my final piece so that you would know exactly what it should look like and if you've been successful or not by following the potion, the set of instructions. So we need to have our ingredients whenever we write a list of instructions, and we write to explain what we want done and how we want something made. We must include those ingredients. And we also must include the method. Now, the method is the instructions. This is the part where we use those bossy verbs like pouring and start and drop, mix, whisk, pour again, fold and mix. And we use those words to tell everybody what they have to do. Now, this gives everyone a good understanding of what to do and how to follow the instructions. Without those bossy verbs, they might do something the wrong way, and then they might not get the same outcome that they'd hoped to get. Now, we also need our numbers, and we need to make sure that we put our instructions in order. We can't start down here and jump up to here and then back here and then to here and then go to the end. We'd be making the wrong thing. And especially if we're making a magical potion, that wouldn't be very good, because I don't think we'd end up with our magical hat. We'd probably end up with something else. So I just want you to spend a little bit of time exploring the ingredients and also looking at the method, because today you are going to have one of these. Now, this is a template for you. You're not going to be writing your instructions today, you're just doing the plan. So I will go through with you step by step how to do this, and we will work on it together. So if you could have a go at writing a title on the top of your workbook, that would be fantastic. So you can pause the screen, have a look at mine. I've put how to create a growing potion. Okay, so you could have a go at also writing your own title. You don't have to copy mine. Remember, we are going to be doing a growing potion, but you could call your title something different. You could just write growing potion. Okay, so pause the screen here and write your own title. Fantastic. Hopefully now you've all written your own title so that everybody will know what it is your potion is going to be. Now you can see on my next page, this one here, I now have my title, and I also have a picture of my finished product. So I've got here some blue liquid inside a very bizarre looking bottle. So that is my potion. If you follow my instructions, that's what it's going to look like. Your potion could look completely different. I'd like you now to pause the screen, draw your own potion bottle and what your potion will look like once it's made. Brilliant. The next thing we're going to do is go to our ingredients. So you need to write a little heading that says ingredients. If you're not sure how to spell this, you can copy it from mine. It's just here. And then we're going to do some bullet points. So next to my first bullet point, I haven't written in full sentences. I've written that I need 5 tablespoons. Now that's my first measure. Okay, so this doesn't make sense because it's only my bullet points. So I've got 5 tablespoons, peas and tallest beanstalk, because remember, I want to get that est suffix in. So I've used the tallest beanstalk. When I come to write out my ingredients tomorrow, I will put that into a clearer sentence. But for now, I've just popped a few notes down to myself to help me remember for my instructions tomorrow. So if you want to pause the screen and write down your very own ingredients now, that would be brilliant. If you're struggling to think of some ideas, I've got a page for you just here. So if you want to pause the screen now, you could pick some of these ideas here to put into your own growing potion. Okay, brilliant. So hopefully by now you've got your title, you've got your picture of your finished product, and also you have got some ingredients. I've gone with 4 ingredients. You might go with 3, maybe you'll go with 5 ingredients. It's entirely up to you how many you want to put into your potion. But remember, however many you put in here, we need to use them when we come to do our method. So now I'm going to look at my plan for my method. So remember, we're not writing sentences today. We are just making a plan. This is going to help us to do our ingredients and our method in 4 sentences tomorrow. So I've done another title and I've called it method. So again, you would need to write this in your own books in a separate place. And then underneath that, we need to remember we need our instructions. Now, you want to write number 1, and then next to 1, you want to think about that bossy verb. How are you going to do that first instruction? Are you going to tip? Are you going to mix? Are you going to stir or pour or whisk? It's entirely up to you what you choose. Now, as you can see, I've chose the word tip. So tomorrow when I come to write my sentence, I will be using tip as my verb. I've also remembered tool list from up here. I've copied it again down here because tool list, I need to remember how to spell that, remembering our Fred fingers. And I've also said smoothest because I think I want those peas to be in the smoothest paste possible. So I've wrote tip, tool list and smoothest. They're just there for me to remember exactly what it is I want my sentences to look like tomorrow. Pause the screen, have a go at writing that one, and then I'll come back to my second method. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to write your first instruction. Now let's look at our second instruction. So I've gone with smelliest, and I needed to write that one down because I know that if there's usually an E sound on the end of smelly, I need to change that to an I when I add a suffix. So I've put that one there so I make sure I get my spellings really spot on. And I've chose smelliest because I'm thinking about giants, and I think they probably are really smelly. So tomorrow I'm going to be thinking about that smelliest giant. Okay, I've also wrote the word potion, because if I sound out potion, it sounds like potion, and that's wrong. So I need to know potion is P-O-T-I-O-N. Okay, that O is making the O sound in this word. So I've wrote that word down to help me with my spellings. I've used my mix word because that's my bossy verb again. That's what I'm telling us that we have to do this time. So the first time we had to tip, this time we are mixing. And I've used a conjunction. I've used the conjunction and. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we looked at and in our sentences. So hopefully, when we come to do our instructions, you may be able to include and in your instructions. If you want to have a pause now and maybe have a think about how you can think of your second list of ingredients and what other words you might need to remember for tomorrow, you can pop those down there. Okay, brilliant. Hopefully you've done your first now and you've done your second. Remember, these are just notes. We don't need sentences today. This is just our plan, okay? It's just to help us remember what we'll be doing tomorrow. Now, I've done my first one, I've done my second instruction, and now on to my third instruction. So I'm going to look to my third ingredients, which was 12 drops of dew, biggest sunflower. So I need to have 12 drops of dew. Now remember, dew, early mornings when you look outside and you might see that the grass is slightly wet, or maybe there's little water raindrops which are hanging off the leaves on your flowers. This is usually the morning dew. So I've included the dewdrops in my writing. You might do something completely different. That's absolutely fine. So I've gone from here and I'm thinking about this sentence here. So you can see I've copied my sunflower because that's where I'm getting my dewdrops from. I'm getting it from a sunflower. So I've needed to include that down here. I've also said it's the biggest sunflower. That's what I want. I want that biggest sunflower. And again, I've chose biggest because I've managed to get my est suffix in. And do you remember what we talked about? I've had to double that g because there's only one vowel and one consonant before I had it. So I had to double that letter so that I've spelt it correctly. And again, my bossy verb, stir. Okay, so that's all I've put next to number 3. So if you want to pause, have a go at doing your third instruction, just the plan. It's not full sentences, just the notes. And then come back and click play and I'll talk to you about the next one. Okay, so hopefully by now we have got something looking a little bit like my sheet on your page. So number 4, this is my last one. I've got 8 longest strands of hair, unicorn's tail. Okay, so again, it doesn't make any sense. That's fine. I know I've got my amount, which is really important. And so I've come down here and I've put cut, because I'm thinking I'm going to cut up those unicorn hairs. Okay, so I've put that there. And then I've put the word beat. Now this is my bossy word, and I am going to be beating really hard to make that whisked really hard, okay? So I've put beat. And then I've wrote the word mixture, because by now, hopefully, we'll have put all different ingredients into our bowl, and it won't any longer just be the odd 1 or 2 ingredients. Hopefully by now it's turning into a mixture. And because, although it doesn't say it up here, I want my unicorn hairs to be blue. Now you might get a clue of that from the picture. You see the unicorn tail here and it's blue, and my liquid in my potion bottle is blue. So I put blue. And the reason I've wrote the word blue is because, again, I need to remember that oo sound. Remember, we looked at this one of the days this week in my spellings, and I spelt it with a oo cuckoo, and that was wrong. I need oo, hunt for a clue. And finally, I haven't done this. That's all 4 of my bullet points done here. But I've given a 5th and final instruction. Because now that I've made all my mixture, I need to think about how I'm getting that into my potion bottle. So I've given instructions about how to do this. So again, I haven't wrote sentences. I've only wrote bullet point notes to myself so that I can remember for tomorrow, and then I can write this up. So I've put carefully because we can't do it really quickly. I need it to be really careful. I don't want this to get spilt anywhere, because if we spill it onto the table, then of course the table's going to start growing. I don't want the table to start growing. I need it to all go inside that bottle. So I've put carefully. I've also added my verb tip, which I've used before, and that's absolutely fine. It's really good to try and use a different variety like I have. So I've got tip, mix, stir, beat, cut, and then I've used tip again. So if you do end up repeating one, it's okay, but just make sure not every single instruction is tip, 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 because then it gets a little bit boring, and it makes it more interesting if we've got a variety of ways that we are getting all those ingredients into that bowl. So I've got my word carefully, I've got my word tip. I've also wrote the word bottle, and I've wrote the word bottle there because it's really important that I remember that this needs to go into a bottle, okay? And it needs to go into a magical bottle. It can't just go into any bottle, otherwise that bottle is going to start growing the minute the ingredients touches it. So I need to make sure that I'm careful about the bottle that I use. And I've used the word again, potion. So I've used that there, I've used it there also, because again, I need to make sure that I'm spelling that word correctly. Okay, so pause the screen, have a go at finishing off number 4 and number 5, and I will see you in a minute. Brilliant. Okay, now hopefully you've all done this step by step as I've talked through with you. If you haven't and you're going to attempt it on your own now, that's absolutely fine. So if you're going for the green activity, I would like to see that you can have a go at creating your own potion following the instructions that I did earlier. Now, if you want to rewind the video and watch back each step and pause as you go, that would be a really good idea. If you're doing the yellow task today, then I would like you to try your best to remember to add the suffix est. And if you're on the red task, I would like you to have a go at doing exactly the same, but this time you're going to look at words with est suffix and also other adjectives, seeing if you can add in a couple more adjectives. So you could have softest blue unicorn, okay? And then that might give you maybe an idea that you're going to have the softest blue unicorn hair. You could have the greenest shiny crocodile skin, okay? It's entirely up to you. I'd like you to try and add an extra adjective in with your writing. Now, if you've already done it and you're watching this and thinking, oh no, I didn't do those bits, I didn't realise I had to, don't worry, because remember, this is just a plan. So you can pause the screen now, you can add those bits into your plan, and then you'll be done, you'll be sorted. So well done. Right, I'm just going to flick up the screen again to show you the list of ingredients to help you. You don't have to use these ideas. I'm sure you've got your own brilliant ideas. So you choose whichever ideas that you have for the ingredients that you want. Okay, the more disgusting and gross, the better. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to go to the end of the lesson now and just have a little think about why we use instructions. We use instructions for so many different things, and here are some of the things that we use them for. So we can use instructions for cooking. And again, you can see we've got the title here, pasta with bacon and tomato sauce. We've got our list of ingredients. We've got our method. This is everything that we've talked about using today. We've also got the picture of our final result. So this is showing you that when we're cooking, and adults will always follow instructions when they're cooking and they're trying new dishes, we can use instructions to make things. So we could have a go at using them to make a Christingle. So here we've got an orange, we've got some fruits, and we've got the candle. So this is the instructions for making one of these. Now this is telling us, this has got a slightly different word this time. It's got the word equipment because we're not cooking, we're making something. So it's still an instruction, but sometimes it will say ingredients, sometimes it will say equipment. And so this is telling us everything that we still need to get. It's the same as the ingredients, but they just use the word equipment. Then we've got our instructions. So again, down here it says method, over here it says instructions. It means exactly the same thing, okay? It's just that we're following that order. And if you look carefully, you'll see that they are all numbered, even over here, and even on our paper plane one, they're all numbered. And they tell us our verbs. So we've got here to cut, we've got to heat and fry, we've got to add. Okay, it gives us lots and lots of verbs so that we know what we have to do. And finally, I've shown you one over this side. Now these instructions are slightly different. We still have a title and we have a picture of our final image, and we still have our numbers for step by step. But this time they haven't given us an equipment list or an ingredients list, and that's because we're only using one piece of paper. So they've still gone through the step by step, and they have written instructions next to every single picture. This is just to show you that there are lots and lots of different reasons as to why we need instructions. and why it's really important that we follow these and know exactly how to create them if we need to. Well done for today, everybody, and come back tomorrow where we will be writing our own set of instructions to create a growing potion. Thank you and goodbye.